today. As Andra said, I'm here as a member of the EFFS group, working group 5, but also I feel like a representative of the Gender and Science IL group, which I'll explain you what it is, and I hope I can share some ideas that we have been developing in this group that can be useful for everybody, since I think they are really empowering researchers at all career levels, but mainly, especially early career. So within EFFS, some of you might know that there is this European Fresh and Young Researchers, which was created around 2011, and it's like a forum for early career European freshwater researchers within the EFFS. And the idea was that these early careers researchers can easily communicate with the board of representatives of EFFS about any matter that they consider it's of importance and should be discussed at that level. So that means any activities that can empower, that can ease their career development. And on the other side, the other aim of this EFFS was to create a network that supports communication and collaboration among junior researchers. And as I was saying, that helps to establish these links that sometimes are really hard to establish between young and senior researchers. So this EFFS does different activities. Most of them occur during the CEFS meetings, which happen every 2 years. And they include, as I was saying, these activities to promote interaction between senior and juniors, like, for example, get together between young scientists and editors of journals. They also build up courses and workshops on general aspects of career development that can be scientific writing. They have also developed the Best Oral and Students Poster Awards, and they organize more fun get-together activities like some, music or quizzes and so on. Another key activity from EFFS is the award for the Best European PhD thesis and the Collaborative European Freshwater Science Project for young researchers. And I'll explain a bit more about this one because I'm more familiar with this. This idea started from the AIL, which is the Iberian Association of Limnology, which had launched this project a couple of years before the first call at the European level, and it had been quite successful. And the idea is that this project should promote interaction in a very easy way among young researchers, because it should be horizontal and everybody, there wasn't really like a boss in a typical way, so to say. So the way it works is that several associations within EFFS provide funding for this project every 2 years. And the project needs to include at least one member of each of those associations that give the funding. So far, there have been 3 of those projects. The Eurorun, I would say it's the first one, and it's already really finished because not just the reports have been handled, but the main publications are out as well. And second was Urban Algae, and now it's under developing Aeroponds. And with Ada Pastor, which was the lead of the first project in AIL, together with me, and with Catherine and Pascal, which were the leads of the Eurorun, we thought about this a lot. And actually, we ended up developing a couple of publications, evaluating what are the benefits of these coordinated distributed experiments when they are happening only among early career researchers. And this is a bit a summary figure. So in the inner circle, you have the benefits for CDE participants when it's a regular one. And in the outer circle, you have how these benefits are expanded when you only include early career researchers. So there are some of them that are really tackling the leads of the project, like you gain ease to access future funding, you are really well trained in leadership and communication, because some of these projects that I show have like up to 80 people in their team. But also all the participants, not just the leads, identified benefits like empowerment, well-being, independence. For a lot of them, that was the first project they ever did without their supervisor. They also learn about proposal writing and gain scientific credit. And I think the most important thing was this network development among young scientists. So now from the working room 5 at EFFS, this group, it's tackling outreach, dissemination, and education, so really broad aspects. The main aim is to suggest the best procedures to communicate and to tackle reports and so on. So there are these two, we divide our task in two, communication and education. I won't be talking so much about education today, just on some of the tasks in communication. We have identified so far 3 tasks. The first one is to develop an effective communication system for EFFS, including not just the web, but social media, etc. The second one is to improve inclusivity and accessibility, and it's what I will be talking about today. And the third one is to offer advice for societal issues. So, for instance, if at the European level we are asked to provide feedback on a new water framework directive, how should we do it? What are the better tools to do that? So, focusing on this, on inclusivity and accessibility, so far we have been talking mainly about gender balance. The first things that we are doing is to develop a code of conduct that will be applied at CEFS conferences, so that all the participants in the conference should adhere to that code of conduct. And we are also adding several ideas in the Congress manuals of that is being developed by the working group too. Within this, there will be some support implemented, not just childcare, but other ideas that we are discussing. We are also aware that we need to go beyond gender issues and cover diversity in general. And this all started from what was already done by national societies, mainly by the AIL. So I'm going to explain you different activities that we have been doing and that can be implemented at the European level as well. So what is the Gender and Science AIL group? It was a commission within our association that we basically just started discussing one day with a beer, like, okay, how is the gender bias in our association? Can we talk about it? And we decided to start gathering data and to join every now and then and discuss these aspects. And now we are a pretty big group of people working within this association context. Do we need it? Yes. So the first thing we did is compiling data from our association and the position of the different associates within the career. And as you can see, we find also what is called the scissor graph. So we start having more females entering the career, but at the end, professors and chairs totally changes the percentage, which means we have a glass ceiling within limnology in Spain and Portugal. So yes, we need this group. As I said, we are more than 30 people involved, not just from the association. We actually actively collaborate with psychologists, for instance. So more or less, as long as you are interested, you're welcome. The main aims are to act as an observatory of gender bias, not just within the AIL, but also of other associations, to develop studies related to gender issues, to foster women's visibility, so to create role models within the scientific community and within the society in general, and to really develop initiatives that are aiming to close this gap, initiatives to improve gender equity and justice. So some projects with these objectives. The first one is the exhibition Women in Limnology. Some of you might have seen it. It consists in 8 panels and 42 videos. It has already been in 5 conferences and 10 universities. And the aim is to summarize the different role models within limnology that for most of us are unknown. So we aim to recover these figures in order to promote this gender equity and to inspire young women with this presenting these role models. Also to tackle some discussion like showing which is the current situation of this gender bias. So this is free. If you want to have it in your institution, just contact us and we will be happy to send it along. The second project is tackling conferences. So here we are evaluating the participation of women during conferences with the idea of promoting actions so they are more friendly environments. We evaluated 3 aspects. The first one, representation. So what are the gender ratios among the attendees, the speakers, and the conveners? What is the behavior? So what is the participation? Do everybody participate equally, for instance, in the questions and answers sessions? And the third thing, the experience. So what is the perception that all the attendees got about the conference? Were they happy with it? So we have been doing this in several conferences, but our main effort was set on the Iberian Society of Ecology conference in 2019, which just got accepted this manuscript yesterday, so we are very happy. The first thing that we evaluated, as I said, was like this attendance. To the whole conference, half of the attendees were women, but besides that, less than 35% of the conveners and the keynote speakers were women. Regarding participation, there was a 12% less attendance during women's talks. So when the speaker is a woman, we have on average 12% less public. And only 1/3 of the questions were raised by women, which means that still men are the ones leading the discussions in the conferences. Regarding satisfactions in general, both men and women failed to detect gender biases during the conferences, but it's true that women were less satisfied. They felt it was a chilly environment for them more often than men. The third project is Gender Limno, and the main aim of this project is to generate content that is helpful for teaching to reduce these gender biases, especially in limnology, but I would say we cover several topics of geosciences. So there are 3 aspects in it. The first one is a questionnaire that helps to self-evaluate yourself and aims to show if your teaching practices are fair. So when you finish, you get your answers, like saying, yeah, you're doing great, or say, no, you're really doing really bad. And we recommend you use these resources. The second thing are those resources. So in different themes, like let's say biogeochemistry, biogeography, you can go through these, and in each of them, you'll have a list of women associated with a key aspect of biogeochemistry, let's say, so nutrient spiraling, and then you click in there and have this concept associated with the person that has developed it. So you can directly use these PowerPoints in your lessons to incorporate these profiles. And the last one are directly teaching units, one about the history of women in limnology, and the other more generally on the gender gap in science that you can also do, like on the 11F, any special day that you consider it appropriate. So this is available for free in our website to use for everybody that wants to. To sum up, some of the achievements we consider we've done in the group is that, first of all, we've created a safe space for women in, not just in our association, I would say at a bigger level. So it's something really good. We have amplified a bit this message in different levels. We believe also that for a lot of us, including ourselves, we have discovered a lot of women and their research. And we realized that there wasn't something that wasn't working in our association and in our countries, and we are working for changing it. And I think we can all do this, like change this attitude from, to be constructive and to change the things that are not working well. And this is one of the examples. So this is the plenary speakers at IL conferences, and since the creation of the group, we have really changed the percentage, and now we are always like at 50 or higher. So we bring this into the discussion, and at least it has to be considered when preparing the conference. Some of the challenges, still people doesn't believe that gender bias exists if it's not filmed. So if you don't show that this is really happening and this is a very clear proof, they don't believe it. It takes a lot of time and effort, and you have to take into account that we are all volunteering here. So you need to be aware of that. It's fragile. So what we have seen in COVID, we did also a poll on the situation of women. And I think there is I don't remember if it's a UN study also about COVID saying that we have been moving forward like several years regarding gender bias just because of COVID. So it's a never-ending work. Yeah, and it's also, I mean, you always need to be aware that we need to change the whole education system to change this. So there is work at multiple levels to be done. And with this, I wanted to end up by asking if you want to become involved in Working Group 5. It's like an open thing and we really need hands. So feel free to contact and reach out if you have ideas that you think could be developed at this level. And with that, thanks a lot for your interest. I hope it was good for the discussion today. And I will be happy to answer here or later on any questions.